Isack Hadjar has quickly become one of the most exciting and talked about young talents in Formula One, with many already placing bets on his potential future in the sport. His journey is one of resilience, performance under pressure, and a growing recognition from some of the sport's biggest names. Among them is Damon Hill, the former world champion, who, after seeing Hajar's incredible performance in Japan, referred to him as a star driver, an endorsement that means a lot, especially coming from someone who knows exactly what it takes to succeed in Formula One. It's not every day that you see such high praise being handed out, especially for a young driver like Hajar, who had a rocky start. The initial impression of Hajar's season wasn't ideal. Many had their doubts, especially after the chaos surrounding Red Bull's internal driver shuffle, which almost kept him off the grid entirely. Hajar was meant to make his Formula One debut in Australia, but due to the revolving door of Red Bull's driver lineup, that moment was taken away. Not only was it a professional setback, but it was also a deeply emotional blow. It was tough for Hajar, and you could see it in his demeanor. The pit lane is a brutal place where opportunities are rare, and missing one can feel like the beginning of the end. However, Hajar didn't let that setback define him. Instead, he came back stronger and more determined to prove his worth. Despite the setback in Melbourne, Hajar quickly got back on track. In China, just a race later, he quietly outqualified his more experienced teammate Yuki Tsunoda, which raised a few eyebrows. He wasn't flashy about it, but it was clear that Hajar wasn't just showing up to fill a seat, he was there to compete. It was a statement performance, and it sent a message to those watching. Isack Hadjar was here, and he wasn't going to just sit in the shadows of more established drivers. But it wasn't just about outqualifying Tsunoda in a single race. What made Hajar stand out, especially after Japan, was his ability to remain calm under immense pressure. His ability to handle what could have been a disastrous situation during the Japanese Grand Prix was nothing short of impressive. Despite struggling with a seatbelt issue that could have derailed the entire weekend, Hajar kept his composure. There were no dramatic radio messages, no excuses, just calm, collected driving, which is not something you always see from a rookie, especially in a team like Red Bull, where the pressure to perform is immense. Then came the race itself. It wasn't just a solid finish for Hajar, it was a statement. As he crossed the line in 8th place, bagging his first ever Formula One points, the whispers turned into applause. The unassuming rookie had done what many seasoned drivers struggle to do. He kept it clean, managed his tires, and made the right decisions when it mattered most. And when the checkered flag dropped, he wasn't just another driver in the points. He was the only Racing Bulls driver who had earned respect that weekend. Hajar didn't just get points because of others' misfortune. He earned them with his consistent, calculated driving. In a race where his teammate Liam Lawson struggled, Hajar emerged as the story. This wasn't just a lucky race or a case of a chaotic result. Hajar's performance in Japan was a clear indication that he had the potential to go far in this sport. To finish 8th in Suzuka, one of the most challenging tracks on the calendar, in a car that wasn't the strongest on me. The grid was a massive achievement. It wasn't a flashy, over-the-top performance, but it was composed and mature beyond his years. That kind of performance doesn't go unnoticed, and for a 20-year-old rookie, that's exactly what you want to see: poise, intelligence, and racecraft. It was Damon Hill, a former world champion with a sharp eye for talent, who called Hajar a star driver. And when Hill speaks, people listen. After all, Hill knows what it takes to reach the top in Formula One. When he gives his seal of approval, it's not just about hype or empty praise, it's about recognizing true potential. For Hajar, this wasn't just another endorsement, it was validation from someone who has been there, done that, and seen enough young talent come and go to know the difference between hype and real ability. But Hajar's performance in Japan wasn't just about the result, it was about the circumstances. The car he was driving wasn't the one that Max Verstappen drives, and it certainly wasn't a championship-winning machine. The Racing Bull car, while related to Red Bull's overall design philosophy, had its own set of issues. It was twitchy, unpredictable, and not the car that most rookies would thrive in. However, Hajar did something special with it. He wasn't just struggling to keep it on track. He was making the most out of a car that had its limitations. While other drivers, like Lawson, struggled to get to grips with it, Hajar was extracting everything the car had to offer and delivering a result that many didn't think was possible. What makes Hajar's performance even more impressive is the fact that he wasn't benefiting from the usual chaos at the front of the grid. In Formula One, we often see rookies finishing in the points thanks to a mix of luck, strategy, or accidents ahead of them. But Hajar's finish in Japan was earned through pure driving skill. He didn't rely on crashes, rain, or other unpredictable factors. He simply outperformed his teammate and finished in the points on merit. Now let's take a deeper look at what sets Isack Hadjar apart from many other rookies. Formula One is filled with talented drivers who have excelled in junior categories and looked set to make an impact. However, many of them falter when they get to F1, either because they lack the mental toughness or because they don't adapt quickly enough. Hajar, however, has shown that he possesses both the mental resilience and adaptability needed to succeed in one of the most competitive environments in the world. One of the things that sets Hajar apart is his composure. In F1, the pressure is constant, and it's easy for a rookie to get lost in the noise, to overdrive or make rash decisions. However, Hajar has shown remarkable calm, especially in high-pressure situations. After being denied a debut in Australia, he could have easily spiraled or gotten discouraged. But instead, he came back fighting, focused on the task at hand, and outqualified his more experienced teammate in China. Then, in Japan, he showed that he could handle the pressure of a difficult car and still deliver a performance that earned respect across the paddock. Adaptability is another key trait that Hajar has shown early in his career. Formula One cars are notoriously difficult to handle, and every race weekend presents its own set of challenges. Hajar has demonstrated that he can adapt quickly to changing conditions, whether it's a tricky setup or a seatbelt issue in qualifying. In a sport where milliseconds can make the difference, the ability to adjust your driving style on the fly is invaluable. Hajar has shown time and time again that he's capable of making smart decisions and adapting when necessary. Racecraft is another area where Hajar excels. In Japan, he made several smart overtakes and showed patience and precision when it mattered most. Unlike many rookies who try to make flashy moves out of desperation, Hajar has been calm and calculated in his approach. He respects the car's limitations and makes sure that any move he makes is well thought out. This maturity is rare in someone so young, and it's a clear sign that Hajar is not only quick, but also intelligent behind the wheel. Finally, there's Hajar's emotional control. Many young drivers come into Formula One with a lot of energy and excitement, which sometimes leads to them trying to rush their way to the top. Hajar, however, seems to understand that success in Formula One isn't something that happens overnight. He's not trying to force his way into the limelight. Instead, he's letting his performance on the track do the talking. This long-term approach to his career shows maturity and an understanding of the pressures that come with being in the Red Bull system. So, is Isack Hadjar really the next big thing in Formula One? It's a bold claim, but it's one that isn't entirely unfounded. His performance in Japan was a clear indication that he has the talent and mindset to succeed at the highest level. Hajar has already demonstrated that he can outperform his car, handle pressure, and make smart decisions on the track. With a few more seasons under his belt, there's no telling how far he can go. For now, all eyes are on Hajar, and if he continues to develop at this rate, it won't be long before he's a household name in Formula One. He may not have the most glamorous seat on the grid right now, but he's making the most of every opportunity he's been given. The question now isn't whether Hajar has the talent, it's how far he can go when he finally gets the machinery and support that a driver of his